Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the Backwoods Sports Podcast. We are back, and we got McGee riding along with us here again. How you
Yes,
doing, man?
sir. Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It's been a good week. Really cold, to say the least, but
Yep.
cold and some great football action. Definitely on the hardwood as well over there at basketball. But man, that was some tough, grinded out football this weekend for one team, and other than that, it was some clean sweeps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cool weekend. Great idea, but didn't come to fruition, I guess, for the NFL. But the numbers definitely were massive, so that was pretty crazy to see. I think it was like 40-something million for the Rams and Cardinals game, and there was like still 20-something million for the,
Wow.
I think it was 25 million for the Steelers and Chiefs game.
Jeez.
So still pulling mad numbers, but we'll start off one with some mad numbers here in the local sports to start off with this Patriots, man. Talked about them last week and how it was just not so good. And, they head up to Buffalo and we all saw that 47-17, or at least maybe saw it till a certain point until we turned it off. Me watching the whole way, that was a terrible game to watch. But for those Bills fans, man, that was a good one. That was for the ages.
That was the best game to date.
Oh, yeah.
And props to you for sticking that out, watching the whole thing. Because I'll tell
Had
you,
to.
I'll be honest with you, you lasted longer than me watching the Eagles against the Bucks.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I turned that off in the third quarter. I'm like, all right, if they don't throw this drive, I'm done.
No, I feel you, man. It was a tough watch, but I had to watch it. Josh Allen, I honestly thought he threw for more yards than he did, but 308 in the day, still a great day. Average of 12, 5 touchdowns, no picks, never sacked, 98 rating, 157 overall. Like,
great game.
Damn.
Yeah.
Perfect. Literally pretty much perfect.
Game to date, I would say.
Yeah, and 21 to 25 passing, like, just that was insanity, man. Yeah. Wild game from him.
5-0. It's just like.
Yeah, they really turned it around. That first game, the Patriots, when they went up there early in the season, played them hard. Thought it'd be different, but damn, I'll say that enough. Yeah, seriously, man. But don't want to stay too much to that side, so we'll get over to the other side there in the Garden, man. How are those Celtics doing?
I mean, what's new? They're back and forth. I think they're like 6-4 in the month of January. They had a couple of rough matchups, but they've been fighting pretty well. Brown's been battling injury constantly, and Tatum, he's still going back and forth. Every other game he's getting 20 on 14 shots, or he's getting 20 on 30 shots, 35 shots.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's wild to see how they've been playing. They're more consistent, I guess, to this point of the season. It was really nice to see that Chicago dub.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome to see, man.
They're battling with injury pretty bad too, but it was good.
Yeah, no, that was a big one because I was, I don't know. It just seemed like the Chicago had their number normal years, even when they're not so good. So this year would have just been like a rollover for the Celtics, but.
And we had
fight.
Two buddies at that game.
Yeah, exactly.
One side of each fan.
Yeah. Gavin and Jace out there.
Yep.
Heading up on the front. That was pretty cool to see.
Must have been
some good game action.
Because it was the same night. It was the same night as the past loss against the Bills. So
yeah, man.
Bittersweet for New Englanders.
Yeah, for real, dude. It really was. But then we get over to those Bruins, man. They've been playing pretty hot lately since getting their goalie back, and there's nothing else to say but that big win against Nashville, that was huge. They came back and took that one in overtime. Great game, to say the least. Came back and they had the game against Carolina where they lost 7-1. That was a bit rough. They were trolling Marchand on Twitter and everything, so it was pretty silly to see that. All sorts of stuff about rat comments and whatnot because he's the rat of the league and everything, but pretty funny stuff. And then they come back last night and they get a nice 4-3 dub over Washington, so that was good for everybody, and good night to sleep after that one because it was a heart attack up to the last minute. But Allmark pulled it out there. Rask was playing the night before, so that big game like that, you want to give the old man a break and let him fucking take a rest there. But that's basically all we got there for the local sports. So we're going to sign on off here and get over to the other side in the other segment. So we'll be right back.
NFL talk.
Hell yeah. NFL, here we go. All right, and we are back with our NFL segment and starting off here with the first game on the recap of the week. The best game of the week, really, and the score. Bengals winning at 26-19 over the Raiders. Man, that was a hell of a game, to be honest. Raiders put up a real fight in the end, but it looked like the Bengals are going to run away with that for a little while there. So nice to see him pull it back.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle for the ages. It was great to watch.
Yeah.
Great performance from both teams. It was really one of those grit and grind, true playoff game.
Definitely.
We saw Jamar Chase get the century mark, 116 yards.
Yep.
Didn't get the end zone, but a couple other guys got there.
Yeah, no, he had a great game, man. He was really dicing up the secondary there.
Yeah.
And not to shy away though from Versace, their crew, man. He's had a great season coming in. And Derek Carr even said himself after the game, I really hope that they make the right decision because that's gonna make or break whether he's gonna stay there and sign back and stuff. So you can obviously, without him even saying a name, know he's talking about Versace, dude, because hell of a job, and the guy just knows the team. It's a special teams coach. The guy has to touch every single player in the team and know everything about their abilities because usually, unless they're a quarterback, basically just a quarterback, I would say. The only position that doesn't go through him. And he probably still knows him damn well. So
yeah, Derek Carr said, whoever you get for head coach, you're going to decide if I want to come back here or not. So he's going to go to wherever he wants to play as a favorite, which is a similar situation we saw with Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson. And now that he isn't in Miami, Deshaun Watson doesn't want to go there anymore. Even though the Texans said that he's not going to play another game for him. That's a whole other topic.
Panthers are going to be going after him, probably.
Panthers, you think?
Yeah, bring him on home.
I think they could be looking at a new quarterback.
Dude, they've been flipping quarterbacks like nothing.
They're shopping McCaffrey, too.
Who knows, dude? He looked good in the Texans uniform, too. To them.
Yeah.
For the right price, anyway.
But as for the Bengals, they're moving on.
Yeah, dude, they are. They're moving on, and hell of a game by them. Joe Burrow just dicing him up, man, doing what he did. No turnovers. That was a big thing. He really needed to not turn it over, and they needed to hold on to that ball. The security is massive in the playoffs. And that defense, man, they played well enough. I wouldn't say they played great, but they definitely played well enough.
19 points. That's pretty good for playoffs.
Yeah, and for most of the game, they held Darren Waller even in check pretty much. I mean, he still ended up with 76 yards in the day, but it was on 7 catches, so, evens out a little bit. And they kind of, more or less held the run game in check as well. Jacobs had his way in the end. For a 6 average, he had 13 and 83. So, he did all right, but besides that, they really didn't do too much. And then Derek Carr getting his little 20-yarder there, and that was pretty funny to see. Yeah. He was trying to do what he could in the day. But
a quick Patriot update, actually.
Oh, really? Breaking news.
We have a contract extension from the linebacker Harvey Lange.
Oh, really? Okay, so
a 1-year extension.
All right, so not too big a news, but it's something. They brought back someone. He's been injured most of his time, so how it goes sometimes. But they retain somebody. That's what they want. At the end of the day, someone that knows the playbook and everything. But we'll get over here next on this recap off of that crazy breaking news to this. Literally, bro. Up to this next one here. Philly wasn't doing the dilly.
No, they didn't have the magic this year. I mean, they started off 2-5, so good for them to make the playoffs, get a little bit of experience under their belt. Jalen Hurts really a first-year quarterback as a starter, so no one expected them to be there, and it was a pretty ugly game. That game for the Eagles side looked like it was first 3 weeks of their season, not the last 3.
So no, not at all, dude. They totally flipped back the script.
The defense was terrible. They're playing 12 yards off coverage. They're not blitzing when the offense is begging for it.
Yeah.
So the Eagles.
I mean, it's tough though. It's tough to put that pressure on Brady because people are going to be open too at the end of the day, and those guys, even if they're not that reliable, they're reliable enough, and Brady's putting the ball in the right spot normally. So
yeah, and
he showed them, dude, 31-15.
And they played earlier in the season, and Brady said, they're tough competitors. They're always hard to beat. They're always hard to play. They always put a good fight.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles saying, oh yeah, we're gonna take them off guard. You look at whatever week they played earlier this year, and that playoff game, it's an exact carbon copy. And I'm not surprised you guys got blown out.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
16 points, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but it was an in-hand game the entire time. It was never really in threat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was really never a time where the Eagles were really threatening that much.
Definitely
They got a
not.
little noise later in the third quarter into the fourth there, I think it was, but yeah, it wasn't really
at that point.
yeah, it wasn't
Let's be
too
honest with
much.
you.
But yeah, no, I mean Brady had a typical Brady game getting them by, and this just looks like one of those years where, like with the Patriots, he just didn't have all the weapons there, and it shows because Gronk has got to get heavily involved. Mike Evans out
I
there,
did not expect that.
9 for 117 and a tutty there, 13 average dude right there. Wow.
They put Mike Evans in the slot a lot, and Darius Slay wasn't guarding him, and Maddox was guarding him, so he was getting catch after catch whenever he wanted. Man.
Yeah, man, and I think it's a bad shout out, but shout out to Pat McAfee out there because we all see way down towards the bottom of the statistics in the receiving category. There's Scotty Miller there, 1 reception for 8 yards. The over under being 8.5.
Oof.
Yeah. That
Was
was a 9-yard catch.
Pass, they take the under, or did they take the over?
It was the under, or no, it was the over, and they gave him an 8-yard catch, and it was a 9-yard.
Oh, it was like that.
It was like
Dang.
that. It was definitely like that.
That's
but
crazy.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It really was. But I mean, we won't stay too far onto that side. But yeah, I just thought that was a pretty funny thing, honestly.
Vegas wants to keep their money. Someone told them, no, make it 8.
Yeah, right.
That was not first down.
Market 8.
Yeah.
Market 8, dude. Yeah, Donnie. But yeah, we'll get over next though to the game of the week. Honestly, is what I'll put it. That was a really good game. Realistically, the best game to me, and it was just in the time slot where everyone was finally sitting down, ready to have some, old pie on a Sunday. Great old game there was the 49ers and the Cowboys, man. Niners coming out on top. Got that dub.
There you go.
Got that dub. I think that was a solo, was it?
Yeah, whatever. I'm glad Dallas lost.
Might have been. But yeah, dude, I was happy to see that, and I think you just saw the confidence. Everyone seeing the Instagram post of the 49ers coming out of the locker room, having the hype man with the boom box. I think it was Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel out there doing their dance and stuff on the way in. So they were coming in heated, man, and I don't know, the Cowboys they're maybe just a little bit too comfortable being home, I guess. I don't know. Just a team. It's just how they've been.
They were every year. They're a title contender, and
I mean, are they though? Are they really a title
contender?
contender?
That's what the media.
Yeah, because I look at it, dude, their offense always goes out. Always goes out.
How many playoff wins they got in the last 25 years?
Nothing, or one, right? One.
I don't know.
1, 2, something like that. Well, they got to the Packers game in the
League,
divisional round, I think it was, or the championship.
Yeah,
no, it's only like a couple. And besides that, though, like I said, their offense, man, they're just every year they start off super hot, or at least somewhat hot, right into the middle of the season doing all right, and then they just back off the deep end towards the end of the season. And the defense, as great as they look playing, what do they do at the end of the day? They can't even cover a guy. Just simply cover him. So the picks are great and everything when it's all going right, but when it's not, what's it worth, So we'll move over next, though. Well, what, you got another statistic in there or something? Tossing there? All right. So we'll move over next then real quick to the Steelers and the Chiefs. Oh, you do?
In the last 25 years, the Cowboys, they have 3 playoff wins.
3, yeah. Okay, I knew it was a couple.
Which is tied for the 4th lowest in the league.
Yeah, right up there with teams that have none. So.
Well, actually, nobody has none. The Browns and the Bengals both have 1 playoff win now.
Really? Dang. Oh yeah. I forget about that. True.
So yeah, Cowboys suck.
Cowboys suck. So that's what it's really about. But yeah, we'll move on now to the Chiefs and the Steelers. There, dude. A game where it was like kind of like the Patriots and everyone else there. Basically, besides the other 2 games, just in hand right off the bat. Chiefs jumped out to a really quick lead. Pat Mahomes, dude, 30 of 39 for 404, 5 touchdowns, and just a 1 pick. That was a hell of a game.
It was easily the most predictable outcome, or most predictable game.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the who was it there? One of the restaurants was giving out free something if they didn't win.
I would have, probably give up the whole business if they didn't win.
Literally,
The
I
only
was
one I
thinking
thought
about. I'm
the
like, dude, they're
Steelers
like,
had a chance are the emotional Pittsburgh fans, and that's
yeah,
just because Big Ben's last game, maybe, well, definitely the Steelers, probably forever, but
probably forever. I would say.
I would say that
I don't
too.
think he'd be that person to just jump to another team because it's not the Steelers kicking him out either. Is what it seems. It more seems like he's just
But at
going.
the same
But
time, it's like, why are you not saying you're retiring? Why are you saying it's the
that's
last time
true.
playing in Heinz
That's
Field?
true too because he did. I don't know. It's tough. You got to
I know.
read between the lines. You got to be the.
Yeah, he'll retire, but
That's
it's
the
just
tough
like,
questions. Yeah. Right.
does he think when Brady comes up to that kind of status, he's gonna troll you guys a little bit?
Yeah. Too. I'm sure about that. But man, Travis Kelce, that touchdown pass,
Oh man,
that was sweet to see.
beautiful football, beautiful
Mhm.
football.
And you see his after the post game presser, he was sitting there. I don't know if it was a first thing or what it was, but his mom ended up being one of the people to ask questions. It was like a call-in or something.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They were talking about it, and he was like, she asked him something about how does it feel to like score your touchdown or whatever, or something like that. So it was just a funny moment and everything. They had it posted up there online.
Nice.
But man, one guy that I said earlier that they're gonna rely on, and they definitely did rely on in this game, was Jerick McKinnon for those Chiefs, man. He was a huge man to that team in the beginning of the season. He had a couple good roles in some games, and besides that, he kind of tapered off because they had so much talent. They really got Darrell Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and all that. So they have a lot of guys, but at the end of the day, Jerick McKinnon has kind of been tossed around the league a little bit and hasn't played a whole lot at different places besides really the Vikings, but he's a decent back, man. And going in these playoffs, being that receiving guy, I think he can really play a big role if they make a big run here.
Yeah, definitely. He put up over 140 all-purpose yards. And
Yeah.
he's definitely underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. And
Oh, for sure, dude.
In the playoffs and perform like that. It's like,
yeah, I hit him for an anytime touchdown on Sunday, man, and that was cake.
Yeah, and a touchdown,
Yeah, he had a nice touchdown, yeah. 6 for 81 on the day receiving for him, and he had, I think it was 12 for 61. Yeah, in the carrying department, it's a 5 average. So yeah, so big. And Travis Kelce 5 for 108 in a touchdown, like cooking up. And Tyreek Hill didn't even have to do too much.
On all ends.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think this week is the week to hammer whatever for like a high, over whatever for Tyreek Hill because he's been kind of sitting there the last couple weeks not doing so much, and that we all know he was hurt and everything going into that last week. So maybe it's just one of those things where he's finally able to test it this one because I think they're definitely going to need him. They're definitely going to need him against the Bills.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Team get shootout.
Yeah. So once I got up early on the Steelers, I think it was more just ride it out. Like he doesn't mind sitting out there running routes and everything and doing some work, but I don't know, he seems to manage it well. I'll say that much, man, because he was pretty limp earlier in that game, to say the least. But we'll get over the last game of the week, Monday night, with the Manning cast over there having the Rock and everything. Pretty good time.
Manning cast is awesome, by the way. It's
yeah.
If you don't watch it, it's on ESPN2, right?
Yeah, I think it's ESPN2.
They're hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Brothers, they're great.
Yeah, they're off the beginning it was a little tough because of the whole delay thing, but they've kind of gotten better with that because I think they do off Zoom or something like that. They're just so funny.
Like I'll watch a little delay with the commentary, and they bring an air out all the time.
Yeah, dude, they bring in some really quality guests, and I like that. I like having the sit-in guest.
And it's less formal. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see it, and you actually get to like.
It's better than listening to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I'll tell you that.
Yes. Some of the older guys have gotten a little stale at this point. I'll say that much, and it's not to discredit them and that they haven't done a great job.
It's just status.
Exactly.
A little more laid back, a little more fun, a little
for sure.
Friendly, I guess I don't know.
I mean, Peyton last week dropped. This last game actually that Cardinals game dropping the F-bomb. It's pretty funny to see that.
Yeah.
But it shows that everybody's the same, man. But the Rams coming out 34-11 on top of those Cardinals. hammered them Rams, man, because Cardinals were fakers the whole time. I mean, it's not that they didn't have injuries and everything that took them out, but I told you, JJ Watt,
I don't know.
he wasn't about it, man. He hasn't been about it for like 5 years.
I see what you're saying.
They're
I
just
think
like,
injuries have
not
played
to
a
say
big part,
fakers to be mean,
but
just be
no,
honest.
no. I mean, with JJ Watt, I can see what you're saying for that
Yeah,
for sure. And if they're completely healthy, with that game, the Rams still would have won.
I
It
think
would have been a
so.
way better fight, I think.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely
And
would
with
have last drive.
Stafford, it's just like I'm back and forth with the Rams always because Stafford's always.
Well, he's
His,
battling some injuries right now, so he
I thought
says
you just said
nothing.
injuries don't matter.
I know they don't matter, but I'm just saying he even said like, well, I guess injuries don't matter when I'm saying they're like off the field and it's to the side, but injuries matter. I'm saying when like they're playing because that's what I said with Baker earlier this year. Well, this whole last year because that guy just got in surgery and everything and sounded more like hopeful to come back as opposed to he's ready like gonna be back for sure. Yeah, so one of those things. But the same thing with Stafford. He's had a lot of back injury stuff like that and you look at that foot injury he has. So he says, "Oh, it's nothing to step into." But yeah, then he comes into this week. He didn't get touched too much, so he's playing pretty clean. Had a good game, 202, 13 to 17. Really got a game managed. I mean, not to like dwindle him down at all. He had 2 touchdowns, no picks, so he did well. And he even had Odell Beckham out there throwing that 40-yarder. That was pretty cool
Shout
to
out
see.
OBJ. He had a great game. He had a touchdown
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. And the touchdown of the day, man. He was doing his work. Cooper Cup doing what he does too at 5 of 61, a touchdown as well. So they were rolling pretty well throughout the game, and that Matt Stafford run as well for a touchdown. So yeah, like we'll see how they go, but it's gonna be a tough one coming up here for them. But we'll have to hold off on the prediction because we got a little itching to do over here on the Beast of the Week here. We're going to start off in the AFC. Um, man, this one's a tough one this week. AFC is a real toss up because we have two guys that are absolutely just killed it this last week. Really did. And one's more of a like take home accolade. So I'm gonna have to go with the absolute enemy of last week, and that is Josh Allen. Man, going 21 of 25 for 308 yards. It's a 12 average, 5 touchdowns, no picks, not even touched, sitting real pretty and clean in that pocket. Like we said before, 98.5 rating and a 157 QBR on the day. So massive game from the man, Josh Allen, who was our beast of the week for the AFC. And over in the NFC, this one to me was pretty easy on this end because there wasn't too many huge performers on the day to say that. Mike Evans, we're going to have to go with him for the NFC players. Beast of the week going 9 for 117. That's a 13 average from old Tom Brady, receiving it on that end for a touchdown as well. 36 being the longest on the day, and only having one target that did not get to the hands and on the move. So not bad for a man that everyone has been, questioning if he's rough and tough and if he can, really make it, not being just the outside guy. And this last week, he really showed it, especially against a pretty tough Eagles defense, going in the middle and really chopping it up there. So hell of a week for the man. But we'll roll over here next over to our predictions for the divisional round of these playoffs, man. Yeah, this is a hell of a one here. The Bengals and the Titans. The line is favoring those Titans at home with a 3.5. You and I got the Titans, and Kyle and Jay got old Cincinnati. Kyle playing homer on this one.
Kyle thinks since he passed his second team.
Yeah, for real.
Jason's rolling with the hot burrow, I guess, but
Exactly,
you be
man.
rolling with Titans. I think that
it's going to be a toss-up game to me. I think, not to say this is going to be the closest game of the week, but I think it's going to be a really great game. Joe Burrow is not afraid of the moment. He is absolute Joe Cool.
Yeah, he is.
And as long as his receivers are willing to catch the ball and not become, like Deontay Johnson there dropping the ball all the time for the Steelers, I think they're going to be set. And I haven't seen too much out of them to show that they're going to do that. So it's tough to really pick against them. But with Derrick Henry back over there and the Titans, they might steamroll that defense.
Watch out for Tannehill. Have a good game too.
Yeah, man.
That experience, got that veteranship.
Exactly.
Against a young team all around. So that's why another reason I think the Bengals, there's young. I don't expect them to go very far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I didn't even really expect them to win last week. I mean, I had them, but
yeah, I mean, I had them because it just looked like a game that was kind of a easy one for them. But obviously, we saw the Raiders gave them a great fight, and it was really a try at a comeback fashion for the Raiders. So realistically, the Bengals should have had them the whole time, no matter what. But I don't know. This one's a tough one though because old Vrabel's always got his boys playing, and they're good, man. They're definitely good. And having, like we said, Derrick Henry back, that's going to be massive. I don't know, tough, but I do go Titans. It's the Derrick Henry factor might just be a little too much for them. But we'll get over here next to the night game here on Saturday. This is another massive matchup, man. A huge one that I think is going to be still maybe close, but it also could be a real burner if old Jimmy G ain't firing correct. But San Fran,
very possible.
Oh, definitely up there in the cold. It's San Fran heading up to Lambeau over there to play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I'm going San Fran this week. I'm going out on a limb. I'm gonna stick out there all by myself. Be that solo. Hell yeah. But the running game goes, it's the way she goes. Because if she don't, it ain't going.
You know, like I told you before the show, I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers, and if that means ride him to the freaking Super Bowl, then I'll do that.
Well, hey, I didn't say I was going to bet against Aaron Rodgers. I just said I was going to predict against Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, take them for what they're worth.
I'll take a loss on the board before I take a loss on the game. Yeah, right. Pull it up.
Pull it up, right. But yeah,
hell no.
I think we're going to see a great game from him. He's just so. I mean, like we talked earlier, we saw him on the Manning cast, and we see him on Pat all the time. He's just so relaxed, laid back, very in the moment, just very charismatic. You know, he just in the moment kind of guy, and he's just ready to take over. He knows when to turn the switch on. He can control it. Control the whole game. So
he knows how to move correctly, man, in every fashion and form of life is what it seems like.
He's just a natural talent. This man is one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time.
Yep, and a big book reader. Everyone that sees the book club they have with Pat there every Tuesday. But Green Bay favored at 5.5. Man, I feel like it's a little low for a team like that. I'd be taking them at like a 7 or a 6.
Well, in the playoffs, you can never be too sure.
Yeah, you really can.
Spread out of all the matchups. So.
That is true, which shows that they just believe in the dominance of Green Bay. But for me, like I said, it's hard to pick against Green Bay because it is Aaron Rodgers. They do have Devontae Adams. They have my boy AJ down there, Dylan, absolutely killing the running game. Aaron Jones out there too, Showtime, just murdering the game. Those duos there in the backfield, they're just it's wild to see, man. And if they don't retain both of them, I feel like it would be awful for them going forward. They'd have to find a replacement in some kind of form. But dude, with just how filled out their offense is and having everyone back on defense they do now, being so healthy, and even when they weren't healthy, still playing pretty consistent. Not the most consistent, but still well enough to win games, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. That was just huge. So I think, honestly, running away, they're just the favorite for the chip at this point. There isn't even a question about it. But yeah, we'll jump over here next, though, to the next game. This is the 3 o'clock Sunday game over there on Fox. The Rams in Tampa Bay, man. The spread is Tampa favored at 2.5. I'm going Tampa Bay. And what do the other boys got there?
Well, I'm going solo.
Going solo? Okay, they got Tampa as well.
Rams.
All right. I definitely think the Rams have a chance.
I think their defense is going to be a key factor in the game. this is just a back and forth game for me. Again, like I said, I'm back and forth with Stafford all the time just because you don't know what you're going to get from him one week or another.
For sure, yep.
With Brady, it's a little more predictable, but I'm a little more inconsistent with the Bucs receivers also.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like they just got thrown into the fire kind of the last couple of weeks with all the injuries that have been happening and stuff like that. And I mean, all season to a point, but so inconsistent. And the one guy I really figured they'd try to feature a little more, especially going down the road here with all these injuries, is Scotty Miller, but it just hasn't came to fruition at all. I mean, he's been out there, but he just hasn't gotten the ball at all. So, I mean, whether it's him getting separation, whatever it be, I haven't watched too close, but it's a guy where I feel like any moment Brady had some pretty big moments with him last season in a Super Bowl run year. So you got to figure at some point the light's gonna flicker on and they're gonna be connecting again here in this playoff run.
Yeah, and for the Rams, there are some notable injuries that just came out. Their safety Taylor Rapp is going to be out for the game, as well as their starting left tackle Andrew Whitworth.
Oh, really? Whitworth's out. That's huge.
That's pretty big. However,
that is huge.
However, Joseph Nabum, the backup, over the last 2 seasons with him starting, they're 6-3, with one of those actually coming against the Bucs, and in that game against the Bucs, he had an 84.7 pass block rate with only one QB hurry allowed. So
is this a little stat news here?
No, just a little research. No stat news.
Okay, no shout out to stat news. Sorry, stat news.
But we do use.
They are a good site.
We do use them though for some stuff, not this right here. But,
exactly, stat news. Check them out. They're awesome.
So big injury bug for the Rams, but the backup has shown signs of promise, especially against that team in the past. However, this playoffs, this is a whole new league.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
You never know. So a little bit of bang up for the Rams. So
it's
tough. You might see that line change by the time this actually gets released.
Yeah, I mean they're figuring this one to be a real
about 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
By the time Sunday comes around, even.
True. I mean they're figuring it to be a pretty close game for sure, but I mean an even closer game is going to be that last game on the slate this week. That's a Sunday night, 6:30. A nice little slot there to stick her in there a little earlier, so we don't have to all fall asleep in the third quarter or maybe during halftime when it's late there. But the Bills and the Chiefs, man. So what do you got there? Sorry, I can't see it.
Okay. Well, me and Kyle are rolling with Buffalo. We got faith in Josh Allen throwing those bombs.
Yeah, dude. And then me and Jay over there got KC, and the spread is KC at a 1.5 right now, which is probably pretty close because this game is going to be right down to the wire no matter what. I honestly believe that. And truthfully, I even think it could be under. It could be a 0.5, dude. You take that. You might be safe with that or just nothing at the end of the day. Take a money line at that point because, yeah, I think it's going to be like maybe even possibly a 1-point game, man. I mean, we saw last week with the Bills, they had their field goal kicker miss 2 extra points. And who knows? If the winds are whipping, even if they're not, who knows if he just isn't striking the ball correctly right now.
This game's going to watch it be a shootout between Mahomes and Josh Allen, and then it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal.
Game-winning field goal or just a game-tying extra point.
A drive at the buzzer type of thing.
Yeah. Imagine they go down, get that touchdown, whatever team, and then the extra point doesn't go through. Don't want to be a Jacksonville Jaguar, man. Don't want to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. It happened to them all the years ago against the Saints, and they made a comeback. So don't want to see that. Get old Joe Horn crying again. But we'll roll over after this because that's the end of our NFL segment. So we're going to go to the NBA where we got a lot cooking this last week right up into this deadline. So we'll get right over back here in just a minute, folks.
Sure.
All right, and we are back to the last segment of the show, the NBA segment, and just got to say one thing. Dan's got this, so here you go.
Well, we're going to go over a little mainstream to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Ooh,
they were finals
show.
Favorites, in the beginning of the season. They got the Russell Westbrook trade. Things were looking pretty good if you're looking at the roster on hardcore paper. They're one of the oldest teams in the league outside of Brooklyn.
Exactly.
But now lately, they've been doing pretty awful.
Oh yeah.
They're 24th in offense and 18th in defense. That's not playoff team numbers.
Nope, that's not LeBron team numbers in general.
It's not. Well,
Because he's been a winner basically the entire time.
Usually it's not. And you look at the roster, it's just guys that are 35 years or older, 30 years. I think they don't have really any young guys. And
it's catching up to him.
You can't gas these guys out for 40 minutes a night. And it got to the point, we've seen Westbrook, he's gotten the record for most turnovers or in however many minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a turnover machine. He ended up getting benched in the final 3 minutes against the Kings or some crappy team they played.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Frank Vogel started getting some heat for benching him, even though front office is telling him, we got your back for any decision you want to make for Westbrook. We know he's kind of a wild card, so however you handle that, we're okay with however you do it. That's what he was told. And now, when they lost that game, he was almost fired that day. And now that he has a couple of 3 or 4 games coming up, they're going to be pretty tough. And there's rumors going on that he's going to get fired within these next few games if they don't pull out any wins.
That's insane that they're going to fire him in season.
After, who won the championship last year?
Yeah.
The Lakers.
Right?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was the Bucks last year. My bad.
Bucks last year. 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
With Frank Vogel is my point being. He just wanted a championship, and then there's people being like, "Oh, they traded Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Caruso, whoever else they had when they blew up that farm team." They said, "Oh, I would have traded back." I don't know if for the whole Anthony Davis thing, and I wouldn't. They won a championship. That's not the whole point.
Yeah, no, for sure. Here's the thing I gotta say.
You're gonna win 2 if you kept those guys.
Consistency at the end of the day is what gets you by. You can't keep crap and expect it to be good. But like you said, he's not crap. He actually won a ring. And even besides that, even if they have like Brad Stevens, if he had stayed the coach for the Celtics, I wouldn't have been mad because he's shown at least consistency to a point. And that's a huge thing for me is all these teams that are mediocre or whatever. I'm sorry, if LeBron didn't come to the Lakers, what would they be? They'd be nothing. They'd be mediocre. They'd be iffy.
Well, they might have Lonzo and Ingram and Julius Randle. But the thing
I don't think they would have kept all of them anyway.
Would they have changed it today or 2? No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
If you had AD and LeBron, you already have one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It wasn't even that spectacular of a ring, honestly, that they won. It just seemed like
the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse. Yeah, it's funny. But what I was kind of getting to though here was just more or less that is it really the Lake show or since Kobe? I wouldn't even say Kobe left, but Kobe's last good years really before injuries really took over. Is it really been the Lake show or is it really just been the cover it up fake show?
No, it hasn't been the Lake show since Kobe.
Yeah.
Since 2012.
Exactly. Even that ring, it just didn't feel I don't know, man. I know it was for Kobe. It was always, but I don't know.
Height.
Yeah, exactly.
No one cared, really.
Yeah, for real. That's how it was, I guess.
Even with their terrible play and all that, I wouldn't. I think it's bad for them to fire Frank Vogel over this, especially when they said, "No, we did this Russell Westbrook trade." It was the GM, the front office, which you could say is LeBron, or it might not be whoever, whatever. Someone else it's not Frank Vogel. They said, "We did this. We got your back. Handle it however you want to." And now he's on the hot seat.
But the other thing too, though, here is especially with NBA, NFL, there's very, very few people that really have a serious say that as a player. NBA, it seems like a lot of guys, or not a lot, but at least a guy per team has some sort of say.
You're a superstar.
Yeah, if you're that superstar, I don't know, it just one of those things in the league. With having that responsibility is what you should have it as called. Why aren't these guys being held to the standard that these coaches are at the end of the day when they vouched 310% for the move
because they're not supposed to have that much influence.
Exactly, but they do, so they should be held accountable too. This is where it's I get that, but this is at the end of the day where it's okay, if this guy has that much say and then everything's going wrong and you're going to fire the coach in season, it's the worst thing, then why can't you look at that guy and be well, if he wasn't here, we would have never even thought of it, that kind of situation. That's where I would have been
as fans, we do that. We always critique LeBron, you're bringing in this guy, you're bringing in your buddy.
Yeah.
You don't want these young guys, you want these shooting power forwards.
Exactly. It's not that he didn't build a decent, all the guys they basically brought in, the older guys, like they're a great secondary part of the roster.
I mean,
Like
it's hard to have vets, but you can't have
you can't all
10
only
out of
have
12 players be
vets.
30 and
Yeah,
older.
exactly.
Playing
That's just
40,
not the
playing
way to do
35
it.
minutes.
Yeah, dude. And then like, when's the last time we really saw Avery Bradley playing real minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like seriously.
2009? If you want to be honest.
I mean, he was seriously good then. Like he really was.
Yeah,
He was a
good
solid
3D
overall
He was
player.
battled injuries his entire career, though.
But yeah, for sure he has, and that's been the whole name of the game for him. But yeah,
And
just
the other thing
wild,
with
man.
Westbrook is that, I mean, they just got him this year, and they already want to trade him, and he's not going to get traded at the deadline. Very good chance he's not getting traded because nobody wants him. The only players they really can get rid of are Kendrick Nunn, who hasn't played all year, and THT, which he has some good upside, but it's not, like, what do you expect to get for him? Like a late first round pick or a second, probably, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck in that purgatory right now, and they're gonna
do.
figure it out. They'll move some stuff around, money, whatnot, cap stuff, figure things out with massage the old cap there and figure out something to bring some guys in the off season. But I feel like maybe GM LeBron there might start to figure out he might need some of those younger guys in there to keep him, actually running through the whole season. It's not just the playoffs here.
Yeah.
You just get a free pass every year. And I think he's figuring it out here late.
They might not even make playoffs.
Yeah, old man LeBron.
They shouldn't. The way they're playing, they don't deserve it.
Wouldn't this be his first time missing it? Or is it second?
It was his rookie year. I don't think he made playoffs.
Yeah, it's maybe second or like third.
Or first few years, maybe.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, first year.
Yeah, so pretty crazy feat there for LeBron to not be possibly not.
We'll see at the trade deadline. We'll see. We'll see if there's another blockbuster out again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's gonna be pretty quiet.
They're gonna have to flip him to like a terrible team and just get a bunch of like young guys developmental.
LeBron's gonna make a new rule where you're able to like take away a year on your contract. So
yeah,
get
right.
out of here.
Yeah, right. For real, dude. He's just at that situation now. He's like, I still got the house down in Miami. All right, Jimmy, I'm coming down.
Did you see Jimmy's ejection the other day?
I did, yeah.
That was kind of wild. When he got in the face of the ref.
Yep.
What happened was he got a layup, he got in one, and he got the call, which he barely got bumped, in my opinion, which it was a good call, but I'm like, and then he started screaming, like an inch away from the ref, like full vocals, you see his like veins popping out. It's like, what are you screaming about?
Yeah.
You got the call. It was a foul.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't even like wasn't a hard hit.
Yeah, no, not at all. That was kind of, it was just weird to me. Yeah. It was like, all right, like easy there.
He just got the tech, and then another ref came over. He gave another tech after he walked away, and people are saying he got a second tech. Why? All he did was walk away. In my opinion, the ref just wanted him out of there. Yeah. Second tech is the ejection. He didn't deserve a second one. Maybe he just deserved an ejection right away. Because like, why are you getting in my man's face like that? He made the right call.
Yep.
And like, whoa, I'm so confused. So what happened there?
Yeah.
And like, why are you angry?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I would have thrown him out too. I would have given him double team if I was that first round right away. I would get out of my face, bro.
Yeah, for real, dude. It made absolutely no sense as to what the hell was going on there.
Well, see a fine coming his way. It'll be It won't be a big hit to his paycheck, but it'll be deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure, dude. Seriously.
We'll move on to the other side of the West. I think they're in the 3 seed now. We're going to move over to the Utah Jazz. And we saw last week Donovan Mitchell was pretty open about leaving the Jazz if he's been there his entire career.
Yeah.
He said he would like to go to a big market, and he said maybe New York Knicks or even the Miami Heat. Speaking of Jimmy Butler, that'd be pretty good backcourt to have there.
Man, I talk about big market. Just come on over to Beantown. Come on. Yeah, Tatum for Mitchell. Just bring him on over. I love it.
We'll see. Tatum for Mitchell. Pretty wild. But
I'd love that.
There has been we'll see how you think about this. I don't know if someone threw someone else under the bus or a little shot at somebody, but Gobert was saying to some reporters, I watched some of these other teams like the Suns or the Warriors. Those guys are a step ahead of us in terms of winning habits. Devin Booker is playing his ass off defensively. Guys like that, they buy in, and you can tell they take pride in playing defense. Do you think that's a shot at Donovan Mitchell? He's referring to Devin Booker, talking about other guys that play defense, have that knack for taking the next step up. We've seen the Jazz constantly get knocked out in the second round with these two guys. It's not a direct shot at Mitchell. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it is, you think it's fair because Gobert, you're in the same boat. If you're saying something about D. Mitch, you're saying it about yourself, in my opinion. How do you feel about that quote? Do you think I'm taking this too out of context? Do you think there's something there?
I mean, I just put it as like, I mean, it could be him talking about Mitchell himself, but I look at it as him talking about the team. Um, it's a team like thing, and I guess I mean, there's some nights where the Suns, I'll say, really aren't playing that great, and their shooting just makes up for it. But overall, yeah, I'd say they
The
have
fact
that.
that he's like factoring in Devin Booker and he says like guys like Devin Booker.
Yeah,
You're telling me Donovan Mitchell's not like Devin Booker? Because I say
yeah.
they're pretty damn close to each other.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah. So like, he definitely could be calling him out in that sense. That's more or less what I was thinking too. Like, I don't know.
And
It's
I
right.
think
It's right
Mitchell
there.
probably has better
So
defense, in my opinion. I don't know,
probably,
but
but it's one of those things where like I don't know. It's a whole team thing, and if it doesn't permeate across the whole team to play good defense, then at some point, like you might have a guy like the Celtics. You might have Marcus Smart there at the end of the day, who's always a great defender, but if even one of the other guys in the court, let alone usually three of the other guys in the other court, aren't playing well on defense, it doesn't freaking matter if he's getting, unless he's getting a steal, it doesn't matter what the hell he's doing. So,
yeah.
it's
And
kind of a non-factor.
the other thing, which we'll jump right into, with the Suns, they're playing really good. They're a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense. So I think I'm changing my favorites from the Warriors to the Suns to make the finals. But
Make the finals or win the finals?
to make the finals.
Okay.
I wouldn't say the Suns are going to win. If the Warriors make the finals, I think they'll win it. But I think the Suns could beat them in the series.
Yeah.
But quickly, lastly, before we jump over there, the Suns just have so much more depth than the Jazz do. And Donovan Mitchell has old man Conley, old man Joe Ingles, and then Bogdan off the bench.
Yep.
And you look at the Suns, and they just have so much depth. And their big three, Booker, CP, and Ayton, they only have 23 games together, and they're still first in the West. So I'm thinking when these guys are on the road court together, they're going to get their chemistry. Ayton, I think he's eventually going to sign a 4-year deal with the Suns.
Yeah. It's just, dude, I just wish you'd see more out of him. That's all.
Yeah, especially when it matters.
Because I think no matter what, the Suns could make the finals again. It's not about them making it. It's about them winning it. And in the finals, it just gets to the end of the road where it's just that tough ending. It's 7-game series. They're taking everything out of you. And he's just not the same guy at the beginning of it as at the end. And I don't know. He really just isn't even that consistent to me. So more of an offensive center than a defensive.
My only question is like you said, he needs to step it up now because the biggest factor between these teams is Chris Paul, and he's what's getting them wins. He's why they got to the finals.
And he's always been on every team he's been on.
Yeah, right? He improves everything he goes on.
But he's kind of been the main guy on every team he's been on, which it's not to be a hit, but isn't he kind of like a Robin? He's not exactly no, and I mean, like, it's not like he's never been a Batman in his career. Chris Paul saying, or talking about, but he's just at this point kind of really the Robin.
I don't know. I think he's still leading that team. I mean, Devin Booker is definitely. I don't know. It's hard to say because CP at an old age is playing just as good as Booker at.
Yeah.
Before he's even peaking, Booker's 25, 24 years old.
Yeah,
so he still has a few years to hit his prime.
Exactly.
So, but what I'm saying is if say Booker and Ayton both sign extensions, I mean Booker's there till 2024, and Ayton he's up this year. If they sign Ayton and they're here for another 3-4 years without Chris Paul, are they still first in the West? Are they making the finals? Are they getting that far in the playoffs? I said no. I mean, they got Cam Thomas and they got some other young guys that are pretty good guards, but you take Chris Paul out of the equation.
Yeah, no.
Are they going to drop down to the play?
Yeah, but you take out Booker and are they in the same spot? So it's kind of
no, but they have Booker for a while.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm just saying in general, like if they didn't have,
I think it'd be better.
Either one taken out, they just really aren't the same team.
Yeah,
because they can't. Yeah, they need that backcourt. You take Ayton out, who knows?
You can easily replace AN.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't want to
he's
say
the guy.
easily because he's a great center, but it's just those times, like we said, it's just
Yeah,
you
he's
don't
just
want to rely on him.
yeah, like anyone can be a great regular season performer. It's like the old quarterbacks and throwing for all the yardage. You can look pretty throwing all the yards, but if you win the rings and get the finer things, is what matters at the end of the day. And if you don't, well, it's usually when you're chopped around the league.
Yeah, and just to end on the Suns, between the whole CP and Devin Booker conversation, I will say that I think Chris Paul is more valuable to the Suns than Devin Booker right now.
Okay.
For this season, not in terms of like,
I probably
in long terms in like 4 years from now, but like
I probably
last
agree
2
with you
years.
though on that anyway. I mean, it's not that I'm that far off of it. It's just I don't know, just a hand in hand kind of thing.
I mean,
to me.
yeah, put
That's
them
all.
together and you're looking good. So they need to win now
Definitely.
for sure because Chris Paul doesn't have that many years left.
Dude, they need to. Chris Paul, he's one of the ones where I vouch for. He needs a ring, man.
Yeah.
He needs a ring.
He's like on that AI status.
Yeah, get that stain off his name of everyone calling him the cancer.
He'll be on that list of those guys that's like, I wish he had it, man. He deserves it. Maybe he'll come back as a coach and get it or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Comes back as a coach, wins like 5.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, 5 is a lot, but
yeah,
no, do something like that.
Yeah, just to win multiple.
But we'll move on. We'll go over to the NBA rumor mill as we got the trade deadline approaching. Next week we'll have some finalized stuff for you guys. We're not completely finalized, but almost getting there. But we're going to start off with the Celtics talk just because we want to get into some Celtics. They've been kind of back and forth this year. They need to make a move to push past that play-in tournament. They're floating around like 8, 9, 10 seed. New York is only 1 game out of the play-in tournament behind them.
Oh, yeah.
So they need to make another move. They did recently say they're open to trading Al Horford, which I predicted earlier when they made the trade. I said I would expect him to get traded again by the deadline.
Yeah.
So I put that on record. I said that. So if it happens,
you did.
Go points for me.
Said it a couple times. Yeah.
Hey, I mean it's a tradable contract.
Definitely.
Because that's what I was thinking when I first saw it. But we saw recently they just got Bol in the trade after he was just announced he's getting surgery out for about 8 weeks, could be season ending, and then they got PJ Dozier also from either the Spurs or the Nuggets, wherever he was before, the Nuggets, I believe. And they got rid of Juancho Hernangomez. He got sent to the Spurs in a puzzling move for the Spurs to send Brian Forbes to Denver, which is a great pickup for Denver. I don't know what the Spurs were thinking, but back to the Celtics.
Yeah, exactly.
They got the big and they got a guard.
Yeah.
Bobo is going to be restricted at the end of the year. Those years are going to be unrestricted, but they have bird rights to both, so they can offer the most amount of money out of any team in the NBA to those guys. So they have a little bit of advantage there. Tell me your thoughts on the Celtics.
Dozier, it's what it is. They bring him back or not, whatever.
Depth,
he's depth. It's cool to have. They definitely need it for the guards right now. Someone just to be able to handle the ball and stuff. Big thing with me though is Bol, man. That is big. I'll say that much.
He's definitely tall.
yeah, he's definitely tall. No, but realistically though, he like you were kind of saying earlier this week we were talking about it when it still wasn't finalized yet. You were saying, oh, it's kind of like just another taco situation kind of thing, and I think he could be more than that for sure. He could definitely be a decent player and everything. But at the end of the day, if he gets a little more weight on, gets should I say it, just a more refined game. That's what I think would help him in the league and be able to be stability and be on one team and not start to be tossed around like a Taco Fall or someone like that where they're just a big that got brought in because they're big basically. So we'll see how it goes. His father was in the league, had some decent times and everything and whatnot. So I think Rockets there and all that. So we'll see how it goes for him and stuff. But I don't know. I think he could do a good job. I definitely think he could. He has promise, a little more promise than most of the centers and forwards they've brought in the past. So look for it to possibly be a thing, but who knows?
He went off in the bubble, trying to make a play-in tournament back in 2020, and he went off in the summer league the last 2 years with the Nuggets also. So he's been shooting 3. He can shoot.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Obviously, he can get boards and play defense.
For sure.
Like you said, if he puts on weight, that'd be awesome too. But very low risk, very high reward for the Celtics. So, and they got rid of Honcho, uh, which, and I think the only reason the Celtics did this was really to avoid luxury tax, which now they're under, so
That's
they don't got
true.
to worry about that. So I think it was a lot for money purposes, which benefits them pretty good because they were in a pretty tight situation.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. But that's a nice move, though. Like it. Love to see it. Finally, something, especially right before the deadline instead of right on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually people are sitting there at the end. Celtics fans are sitting just waiting, 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 and then 4 o'clock or whatever the deadline hits and nothing. So nice to see it early and see something there, possible future builder there.
Yep. And well, let's keep moving through a couple teams that have just kind of announced who's on the trade block and what they are asking for them. First, we're going to go over the Pacers. We kind of knew this already, but for Miles Turner, they want 2 firsts, or they want 1 first. Or no, sorry. Yep, I'm right. They want 2 firsts for Miles Turner,
Yeah.
which is kind of a lot, but he's, like we said, the NBA is kind of thin at center, especially with guys that you can really rely on, which is even why Aiton is holding out for so long.
Yeah.
Miles Turner is one of those guys that can kind of do a lot, and he holds his own. So a lot of people think 2 firsts is a little excessive for him.
Yeah,
To
he's
me, they won't be lottery picks. I don't think they'll probably be like late first rounders.
that's true. So it's really not as much given up as you think. But like I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, he's not he's not bad by any stretch. I've always vouched for him, but he's also not the most consistent.
yeah. And the other with the Pacers, the other guy. I mean, we know they want to get rid of Sabonis too, but who knows if they're going to do that? But the other guy that's really on the hot seat for them is Karis LeVert. They want 1 first and a young player for him, which I don't think they're going to get close to that.
No,
They might
dude,
get
he
1
hasn't been
first.
able to play like this. With the injuries and stuff. I just don't think
Always
it's.
injuries. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's his.
When he
That's the
plays,
way to
he's
go with
good.
that. Yeah, no, definitely, he's good when he plays, but that's why I'm just like I don't know if he's worth that. Not right now. Maybe 1 first round pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just probably 1 first and like
Yeah,
maybe a second. Like I don't know what player you give up for him,
yeah,
especially like a young guy like that. I give you a
nah,
vet to take a big contract off of
yeah,
the books or something
exactly,
like that. At
something
that
like
point,
that.
but
But who knows?
we'll get moving on over to the Kings. They said it seems pretty evident that Harrison Barnes is going to get shipped out of there. He's always kind of one of those veteran guys that can go off the bench for you. He's
Mm-hmm.
decent. I don't know how crazy his contract is, but someone with a bigger contract, bigger name, Buddy Hield, they might be out of Sacramento this year, which free Buddy, as
That's
everybody else is saying.
crazy. That's crazy.
And he's been.
Thought they were going to be bringing a little sack back there
I
and
know
do a little something.
that's what we are saying. They are one of the teams with so much talent, and you look at
Yeah,
other teams that are going with all these young talent, and it's really just how you develop them. It's really about your front office because you look at other teams that they have so much upside, they're growing and growing. And then you look at teams like the Kings. They always have these great young guys, and they're always the worst in the West.
yeah, yeah. It's true, man. They're
And now they're shopping like
they're the kings of the crap.
yep. And Roy Hachimura's on the block. Everybody's hating De'Aaron Fox all of a sudden.
And hey, they hate him. I'll take him over here in Boston.
Yeah, I mean these are
Like
great
anyone
guys,
would.
and it's just Sacramento just cannot catch a break.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's just one of those like anything can permeate a locker room, and it's kind of the everybody wants out now.
Mm-hmm. I
And
don't blame
the
them.
worst part is, sorry, not everybody can get out.
Yeah.
Some of y'all are stuck in it.
Um,
Uh,
one surprising move, or one want from the Utah Jazz. They're trying to trade Joe Ingles, who is pretty old, but he can score off the bench. He almost won 6 Man of the Year last year. He lost to his own teammate.
yeah,
But what got me was they want in return an Aaron Gordon like player. To me, Aaron Gordon's a little underrated, but for Joe Ingles, you want to give me an Aaron Gordon for Joe Ingles? Are you kidding me?
yeah, that's weird.
I don't. That kind of blows my mind. Aaron Gordon is on a whole different level from Joe Ingles. I don't know what you expect in return for Joe, but it's not
Yeah,
going to be Aaron Gordon.
exactly. For real, man. Um, that's I don't know. That's just really weird.
Yeah.
Damn,
So we'll
that's
see.
a very specific ask.
I'm sure he'll get. Yeah. Well, they're not asking for Aaron Gordon straight up, but like a player like Aaron Gordon, you're not going to get him.
Like anybody, it's pretty much the what is it? Eminem. or what is it? Like, raise your hand or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, raise your hand if you're Aaron Gordon. Like, that's hilarious.
That's crazy. We'll see what they get. I'm sure he'll get shot probably, but we'll see what it's for. I do not think it's going to be a player to the caliber of Aaron Gordon. But we'll move on
Seriously.
to my own Detroit Pistons. The guy who is most favored to get moved by the deadline is Jeremy Grant. They came out and said that they want either 2 first-round picks or 1 first-round pick and a young, high upside player. And they just want to make sure that they get a top 3 pick, and it seems like they're going to have their own top 3 pick anyway. So
yeah, get 2 picks and have Cade already there. Like, you guys, I mean, not to say you guys maybe meant to, but you guys are sitting kind of pretty in the pretty shitty situation there.
Oh no, I think they definitely meant to because within the last 2 years they cleared the whole cap. They don't have one player on their roster that was there 2 years ago.
Yeah, like, so they really did clean house.
New GM, he got his own guys. He's still kind of working through it. They'll have another top pick. They'll have the second most cap space for the next 2 years in the NBA also, so that's pretty good. But with Jeremy Grant, he's 27. He'll be 28 next year when he comes off his contract, or he'll be nearing 29. He reportedly wants a 4-year, $110, $112 million contract, which isn't bad for him, but for the Pistons side, I don't think that's kind of the timetable they want to have a player like that with his contract, just with their time frame. But reportedly, they did offer Jeremy Grant, Saddiq Bey, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round pick to the Sixers for Ben Simmons, who ended up turning them down.
Oh, Ben Simmons himself turned them down?
Well, the Sixers turned it down.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's just what you said. I was checking.
Oh, yeah. For Ben
like,
Simmons,
no.
which I'm not surprised the Sixers turned that down. At first, as a Pistons fan, I was caught off guard because like, I really like Saddiq Bey, and I'm like, man, that's a lot to give up. But again, Grant, Bey, Olynyk, and a first, which it wouldn't be this year's first-round pick. It would probably be 2 or 3 years from now.
What about old Tobias there?
Tobias, he's another man that the Sixers are trying to get rid of, actually. They want to dump Tobias. We talked about this last week. They're trying to get James Harden, which we know they won't get.
Yeah.
But they want to dump Tobias and Ben both. There's no way they're going to be able to deal them in the package together. We saw them in talks with the Kings. The Kings were pretty high on Ben Simmons, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, you want Tobias too in there at all? And they said, no, we're done talking to you. They don't want 2 big no one's going to want 2 huge contracts at once, so they're going to have to deal those guys separately if they want to.
Yeah, no. I mean, some team might take it, but it's not going to be a team that you're going to get anything back from that's going to be good. So, besides picks, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not putting you in any good situation.
He's a good player, Tobias, but he's just a consistent third option.
Yeah,
it's not worth what his contract is.
Yeah, no, exactly. Which is what I always say when these guys sign these deals. I mean, almost no player lives up to their contract, truly. At the end of the day, in almost any sport, they always have back years that are kind of like, oh, they're paying them because they did this then. That's how so many people felt with Pedroia at the end of like this Red Sox and everything.
I was ready for Pedroia to retire last like 2 years there, dude.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Strikeouts.
Yeah,
I was ready.
But it's just one of those things like that. So like I don't know, it just how it goes. I always say they're too overpaid for like the front load. It's like just even them out and pay them less, and have more quality players. Yeah, have more quality players in the rosters.
Over time, they become bargains because the cap's going up so much. But then, like in the moment, you're like, I'm not spending $40 million on Tobias Harris.
Yeah, exactly.
Halfway through the contract. Sorry, but to wrap up with the quick rumors, the Heat are putting Duncan Robinson on the trade block. Good 3-point shooter again.
It's a big hot hand right there.
He's on a big contract though this year,
so
really? We'll see. The Wizards try and get rid of Montrezl Harrell. They said he's tradable, but I'm sure they're okay with keeping him.
Yeah.
And then lastly, with the Mavericks, Jalen Brunson, my Villanova boy, he is going to be a free agent. He's looking for a 4-year, $80 million deal, which I think that's a steal. He's going to be one of the better free agent pickups. Whoever gets him, great guard, great defense, good scorer. He can come off the bench for you, he can start for you. I think 4 by 80 is very reasonable. If I'm any team in the NBA, I am going after him in the offseason. We'll move on to some NBA news. Nothing crazy happening, really, drama related, but there was one play in the Nets-Wizards game the other day where Spencer Dinwiddie threw a pass to Kyle Kuzma in the corner with 5 minutes left in the game when the Wizards were actually up 109 to 103, excuse me, when the Nets assistant coach David Vanterpool reached out his hand and deflected the corner pass, which ended up resulting in a turnover because the ref continued to play. Washington got the turnover, the Nets got the ball and got the score off of it.
Yep.
Brooklyn ended up winning 119 to 118 after that. So that play really did matter. Vanderpool was fined for game interference days after the incident. The Nets ended up winning the game. That play was a big impact. He was fined $10,000, and the team as a whole was fined $25,000. To me, the fines, like, I know the players get a lot more, but that's a slap on the wrist for a play that really makes a difference. I've seen plays in the past where a ref makes a bad call or misses a call, and the NBA will come out and make an apology and do this huge thing about it. And just to like slap these guys with a fine, like you just cost these guys a win. Like I know the Nets and the Wizards are doing really, really good this year, making a name for themselves. But I thought that was kind of dumb. Like, I don't really know what I would expect to happen, but like I wanted more of either a bigger fine or more impact for that coach. Because did you see the play?
No, I didn't see the play personally, but just explaining it though, that's getting screwed. But it's like most sports, though. You have, I wouldn't say 50-50 chance, but it's pretty close to that in games like a whole slate in a week, or just in general, a whole slate in a week where they have like a play in almost each game where there's that kind of like you could call something or this should have been like happened or whatever, or that they made the wrong call without a bounds, anything like that. There's like always those calls and they're hidden usually, and then you'll see someone that really watched the entire game like, oh yeah, if they made this one play, like
you're gonna get that for any possession.
Exactly.
If this went that way, that went that way.
For real.
But to me, it's just like on the coach. It's like, what are you doing? Like, pretend you're Kuzma and I'm Dinwiddie. Like, you're on the corner three. I'm on the left wing.
Yeah.
I'm making a sideline pass to you.
Okay.
This is the sideline with the Nets bench.
Yeah.
This trash can is the assistant coach. He just sticks his hand out mid pass and deflects it, and it gets tipped up, and the other team catches the ball and runs down the court. And the ref's standing right there behind you. He just sticks his hand out in the middle of a pass, in the middle of a play, and it's like, why are you doing that? You intentionally.
Talk about like the
it's
worst.
Not just coming towards you.
The worst sportsmanship ever.
Yeah, that's exact. It was like more like disrespect. Like, what the heck are you doing?
The worst disrespect like ever, dude. Like you just can't let like a moment happen in history, especially like sorry to say it, but it's a regular season game. Like, get over it. Like, not to say if it's a playoff game, do it, but don't go be Mike Tomlin out there tripping the old Dolphins player there on that punt play. Remember that one there. Yeah, right.
But
exactly.
We'll move on to a lighter-hearted note with the All-Star vote, and we're going to get wrapped up next week. We'll have the final results for you guys for who's going to be a starter or who can be a starter. For the fourth year in a row, the NBA is going to be doing it in a draft style, so we're going to have two captains. It looks like it's going to be LeBron and KD. They seem to be the lead vote getters for each conference. So these captains, they're going to be taking turns drafting from the 22 players voted in the All-Star field. First, they're going to select 8 starters. Obviously, one of them is going to be themselves, so they'll get 4 others each. They're going to be 2 guards and then 3 big men. That's, again, including themselves. Okay. And then there's going to be 14 other... There's going to be 14 total All-Star reserves. So after the starters get selected next week, or February 10th, is going to be the draft on the trade deadline. But next week we'll have the final voting for the starters, and then after that, the media and the rest of the NBA is going to be deciding on who the reserves are going to be for the bench players. And then on the draft day, we'll have post selection of everybody. And so this is actually LeBron's 6th year in a row of being the lead All-Star voter.
Nice.
So another little accolade for LeBron, which some people are going to hate to hear. But the man's getting fan favorites. So I mean, if you hate him, well, there's at least 2 more people that love him. so much. So.
I mean, he came out with that movie and everything this last year, so he's popping a little more than normal. Not really. He's always popping like that because that's just LeBron.
He's getting those sales, and we definitely see it.
Oh, yeah.
And the jersey sales that we got, top selling jersey sales just came in. Number one ranking in your own LeBron James, coming in one for jersey sales with the Lakers. Not surprising because it's LeBron, but a little bit because kind of how the Lakers are doing. Number two is Steph Curry with the Warriors.
There you go.
Again, a very likely MVP candidate along with LeBron, but higher up. Another MVP candidate.
Steph's another one of those guys that Steph and Giannis too. They're all one of those people.
All
huge names.
So Giannis is third for jersey sales this year. Fourth coming in with KD with the Brooklyn Nets, and then fifth, Luka Doncic. I love that. Love to see Luka get up there. He's going to be a great star.
Yeah.
And I always talk about my Ja Morant City jersey in my closet hanging up with the tags on. That came in seventh. So
he has been killing it as of late.
He's been going off.
Hopefully that jersey bumps up there a little further.
Yeah, we'll see.
Doing so hot.
We'll see. We'll move on to a couple of the NBA in-season awards. First, we got six-man. These are just some front runners. I'm putting them in order of how I think they should win. I don't know if they will, but I like Kelly Oubre with the Hornets. I think he was one of the best free agent signings in terms of needs and production. But I think the guy that's likely to get it is Tyler Hero for the Heat. He's been battling injury, but when he's been playing, he's been going off.
He is the hero.
He's scoring at will. So
yeah, dude.
I'm thinking Tyler Hero's going to win six-man. I want Kelly Oubre to win it.
I like Kelly Oubre. He's been playing pretty hot as of late. Definitely.
Next, we're going to get – I'm trying not to get too biased, but I'm going to defend my boy. We're going to get into Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
before I defend my boy
Cade,
I will say I got Mobley winning Rookie of the Year.
Mobley, okay.
But I want to take a moment quickly to be biased and defend Cade because I think Cade is definitely the most talented out of the two out of the whole draft class.
Yeah.
So just for a little devil's advocate for Cade, I think Mobley definitely has better numbers, but he has a much better supporting cast around him.
Mm-hmm.
He just has a better team. They get more wins.
Yeah.
He doesn't get as much attention as Cade also. So with Cade, I think he obviously has better talent than Mobley, I think, all-around game. Less help. He's drawing more attention. He had a rough first 10 to 15 games, Cade did, which I think is a big reason why he's not the leader.
Yeah.
We saw it when the first rankings came out. I think Cade was 7th, and Mobley's been consistently 1. Green dropped out to 10.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of guys that have been consistently top. Cade has consistently grown up, but he's been stopped at 2 the last few weeks.
Exactly.
But I think his first 10 to 15 games were pretty rough because he did miss all preseason and he missed all team practices. He was just kind of thrown into week 2 or 3 of the NBA when everybody else kind of already started developing their games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think where he got thrown into was a big result of why he had a pretty rough first 2 weeks. So if you look at his last 25 games or so, look at those numbers as compared to his first 10 games, then I think if you look at those numbers compared to Mobley, you'll definitely agree that that Cade has been doing better. But just quickly looking at the attention thing I was saying, I think this is great for Cade. He was 19th in the league for most double teams out of the whole NBA. So no other rookie is in the top 20, and no other rookie in last year's draft class is in the top 20 or finished in the top 20 last year. So Cade's amongst players. These are guys that got the most double this year in order, starting at 1. SGA, James Harden, Luka, Ja Morant, Giannis, PG, Westbrook, Bradley Beal, KD, Embiid, Trae Young, Van Fleet, Lillard, Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brogdon, Julius Randle, Steph Curry, Cade Cunningham. When you put those numbers together, when we put those guys together with Cade, I think that's just speaks volumes.
Yeah, most of those guys are star level athletes and everything, like damn near superstar or star at least for the most part. And to be honest, man, he just seems right out of school and everything, just the most complete guy in the draft for sure. All around the 5-tool, baseball player you always want. That's the kind of guy he is on the court.
And the thing is, when he was at Oklahoma State, it was a pretty close situation to what he has in Detroit, where he doesn't have a lot of help around him. He's getting doubled all the time. He's got to make these passes. It's a very similar situation. So I think if you switch Mobley and Cade, if Cade goes to the Cavs, I think Cade's going to be more in the race for Rookie of the Year.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. But hey, I mean, who cares if he wins Rookie of the Year? Let's see.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we'll see how that career goes down the path. And like we said before, with the Pistons, yeah, it's about the long run, man. It's about longevity. It's about everything going forward. And I think they're setting up well, especially with somebody as talented and LeBron, like I said way back in the beginning of the season, right after the draft.
More than LeBron, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, so maybe Luka now, but too, I think in the end of the day, when he puts more pounds on and gets a couple years into the league, maybe half his career in, I think he's going to be that bully down low.
He's one of those. He has an IQ already. As a young guy with the IQ he has now,
that's massive.
I hope he signs an extension when he comes up with the Pistons in 3-4 years. One of the things I'm really hoping for, him and Scotty Barnes went forward to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
They're very, very good friends. They've been teammates before in high school.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Cade recruits him to Detroit if Cade signs an extension.
Yeah, right, man. We'll see. Get some home cooking together.
Yeah, just quickly with Cade, I just want to get over a lot of people playing deadlock here with me, saying like, oh, he gets high usage. He's only got the Pistons, so they're going to refer to him a lot. And actually, Cade's usage rate is only at 25.7%, which is 58th in the league. And so no other player in the entire league is ranked as low as Cade in usage, and is currently top 20 as a double-team player. Julius Randle is the next closest, and he's 44th with 26%. And Cade's also 10th in the league in isolation.
But that's over the whole season, right?
That's over the whole season.
But wasn't he used a lot less in the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
So maybe it's them using him a little heavier now, so it's evening that out. More or less is how I'm looking at it. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's not being overkilled like some people maybe.
Yeah, they definitely worked him in. Yeah. Like I said, the first 10 15 games where he had very rough shooting numbers.
Yeah.
That's definitely where you see he wasn't the primary ball handler.
Exactly.
He wasn't walking the ball.
Yeah, they got to get him going right and
exactly.
everything.
So that definitely plays a huge factor.
Yeah, got to walk before you can run.
Yeah, but just as a fan, for me, it's great to see that these guys that we said earlier, he's getting the same attention as all-stars, perennial all-stars,
exactly,
former MVPs, NBA all-level players.
That's crazy, man.
And he's only 30 games into his career, so he might not win Rookie of the Year, but I like him. And lastly, on all those rookies with Cade, Green, and Mobley going 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Compared to this coming year's draft, I think all three of those guys still go 1, 2, 3 in this coming year's draft. Because I don't think it's just really that.
Yeah.
There are top 5 guys are pretty
but
good.
But not fit their team, should I say, but what their team's trying to build or trying to do in general on the court. I think they got the right guys for what they want.
Yeah. And we'll move on to other awards. Coach of the Year. I think it's pretty obvious Billy Donovan for the Bulls should get it.
Yeah. I mean, hate the Bulls, but can't shy away from how well they're doing and how consistent they're playing. The Bulls have always had a decent squad. They're kind of like the Miami Dolphins. It's like that 500 team where if they want to go for a run, they can go for a run here and there. But, usually they're at least around the 500. And I don't know. The Bulls have always tested the Celtics well. That's why I said before I was surprised that the Celtics got that dub. No injuries and everything still. But it's one of those things where, Bulls are actually keeping it pretty hot this year.
We'll see how they do with injuries, but they'll still be in the playoffs. They'll be healthy for playoffs for sure.
For sure.
But if Donovan doesn't win it, then I would think that Cleveland's coach, Bickerstaff, is going to get it. But because Cleveland's been playing out of minds, I think in terms of efficiency, they should get it over Donovan. But because Donovan has so much to work with, and he was kind of just gifted this through free agency. But, I mean, he worked for recruiting, I guess. But still.
Yeah. That's crazy, though, man.
We'll move on to Most Improved. Sticking with a Cleveland boy, I think Darius Garland is going to win Most Improved. He's just been balling out. Who I really think should win it, and who I think has been playing the best, hands down. I don't know why Darius Garland is more favored, but Miles Bridges for Charlotte has been going off. He didn't sign his qualifying offer, or he didn't sign an extension. He'll get a qualifying offer for cheap money. He's going to decline that. He's going to get paid every single game. It seems like his asking price is going to go up because this guy's just going off. I do not see how Miles Bridges is not going to win Most Improved. It baffles me how Darius Garland's more favored than me. It really does.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it really either. But I mean, hey, it's how it sways at the end of the day. Sometimes is it, always seems to come out on the other side.
Yeah, who knows? NBA has their own little. They already pre-predicted whatever they want.
Right. Everything's dropped to be in the season when the Lions start.
Move over to Defensive Player of the Year. 3 guys in the runnings. This is the order I have them in. I have Draymond Green coming in first. We talked about him a few weeks ago how he's just so defensive minded. And he really runs the offense for the Warriors team. He's been injured now, but he's more of a point guard than Curry is, and I'll say more times.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But that's more offense. But like he offense starts with defense. We all know that.
Definitely, man.
And he just the way it helps him. He facilitates, and his defense makes that facilitation really happen, in my opinion. But next up, we got Rudy Gobert and Giannis coming in after them. I think any 1-3 of them could win. I wouldn't be surprised if either of them take the crown for it. But I like Draymond having it. That's just my favorite. Who I want to win it.
That's not bad. Yeah,
I think Giannis probably has an edge over Rudy, but Rudy has had it the last few years, and Rudy shouldn't have had it last year. Ben Simmons should have had it last year.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Simmons had a year last year, that's for sure.
Which, again, people seem to forget. I mean,
maybe that's why he's so emotional.
That one layup against Atlanta, he didn't ruined his career because you take that one play out. If Ben Simmons is an elite, he's a top 25 player in the NBA. You show me all Ben Simmons.
He's an all-tool guy.
Show me all Ben Simmons' bad games in the playoffs. I'll show you all Ben Simmons' good games in the playoffs, and we'll see who's laughing after that.
Yeah, I mean, hey. I guess this is kind of a flipped way because he's younger than him, but is Cade just a better shooting Ben Simmons?
Yeah. Yes, I would say that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, he's got to get there a little more to, like, the Ben Simmons, like I was saying before, about getting rougher and tougher, being able to get in the paint, LeBron-like stuff.
Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely not at that level. We're not saying that, but in terms of play style.
Yeah, play style. 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll move on. Some of those bigger bodies that are going for MVP this year.
MVP?
I'm going Giannis getting MVP. I said that last week too, when I got mixed up with him and Jokic, but I got Giannis getting MVP. This is my order for the top 5. I got Giannis, then Embiid, then Curry, then Jokic, then LeBron. Everybody has Jokic 1 or 2. I put Embiid over Jokic every day of the week. I don't know. He just had that 50 nugget off 27 points or 27 minutes.
Yeah.
But I like Embiid just all around better. But Jokic also had that 30-point triple-double with a game-winning assist. Pretty cool. But.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Embiid's like been really solid, man. So that's a tough one for me because he's been deserving it for a couple years now. Really, like he's been playing such solid ball and just getting better, and especially putting up on the defensive side and everything, and facilitating like he does at the ball. Mm-hmm. He's a serious threat, man. It sucks that he's on the Sixers and that he could have just gone over somewhere else in the draft.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we'll make some moves to help him out at all.
Yeah, right? But no, for real, man.
We're going to get over to our favorite section to end it off. We're going to talk about the guys who've been playing the hottest on each side of the conferences. We're going to start off with the East. This man has been balling out his last 4 games. His name is Darius Garland for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's been putting up 25.3 points, 12.5 assists, 5 boards. He's been putting up 2 threes a game, shooting 30% from downtown, 50% from the field, and 91% from the free throw line. Give it up for Darius Garland for becoming our
Beast of the Week. Hell yeah, man. What a week by him, dude. Mm-hmm. And there's been some guys putting up across the league doing some stuff, but he has certainly been one of the most consistent.
Yep.
Just firepower, man.
Like we said, our favorite for being most improved, very well deserving of it. We're going to move over to the West of another team that's staying hot as the sun.
The Wings.
We're going over to Devin Booker. He's been averaging over the last 4 games, 35 points, 4.8 assists, 4.5 boards. He's been getting over 3 three-pointers per game, shooting at a 33% clip and 50% from the field, 83% from the free throw line. Devin Booker is our NBA
Beast of the Week. Hell yeah, man. The week, the Weast, the whatever it is. Both those guys have been killing it this last week. And shout out to all beasts of the week, NBA, NFL, anything in between. But we got to get over here last here in the episode to our question of the week. And, man, this one I want to talk about because we all know the reason. But last week's was what team will have the biggest win margin during the wild card weekend. I had originally kind of gone out and thought that the Bucks were going to be hammering down on those Eagles pretty hard. But Dan, can you tell us who that old winner was there?
I would love to. We're gonna go with the Buffalo Bills smacking those Patriots.
God damn. It was the wrong end for me this weekend, but that's okay. And to every other Patriots fan, the future is still bright. So don't look too much into the darkness here. The season ending so early, or at least in our eyes early. But we get over here next to this week, though, and for the last part of the show here, we're going to head into this divisional round and ask you guys what you think over here about which team in the divisional round, actually in the divisional round, will have the most total points. So total points between both teams inside the game. We have the Bengals, Titans. We have the 49ers, Packers. We have the Rams and the Bucks. And we last have the Bills and the Chiefs. So which team or which game out of all those will have the most combined points? Let us know in the comments everywhere, socials, everything like that. YouTube comments, anywhere, man. Anchor, Spotify. You got the little pull-up tab. The question will be right there for you to see. Nice and easy. You can fill it right out. You can even subscribe and rate, man. It's pretty easy, too. So, that's pretty much the end of the show for us. We're going to get out of here and do, whatever we're going to do on this really cold day.
Get some dubs.
Hell yeah, get some dubs, baby. That's how it goes. So, we're out of here, folks. Y'all take it easy and have a great week.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Hell yeah, big sports ahead. And
big week next week.
Divisional week, everything. So whether you're hitting on FanDuel and dabbing a little of that or doing some other stuff, stay safe, folks. Take it easy. Peace.